Can you hear us?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sorry, everyone, for all the difficulties and the delay and everything that's been happening tonight. We had this really beautiful illustrated animation that my friend Martin did. And he is currently in the countryside of France, and I hope he's listening. And I called him a couple of days ago and asked him to do an illustration that made him think about Italian countryside and the quarantine and being inside and outside at the same time. And he was really happy and creative about it. And he produced this beautiful, beautiful animation that we cannot show you today because the program does not want us to. We'll find a way for next week, promise. We're just going to keep going because that's what you do, and the show shouldn't stop. I don't remember what the real expression is. The show does not stop, something like that. Anyway, so we're Stream Echoes. It's the second Saturday that we're doing this. We are just a group of friends and friends of friends and strangers, beautiful strangers, that decided to do something for the Corona crisis and to try to fundraise for Italy and especially for Giulia's hometown, which is really affected by the crisis. So we put in the description of the YouTube video, if you're listening, really a link to a fundraiser, and we're trying to get as much money as we can to give back to the locals of Giulia's city, and she'll tell you more about this in a second. So I want to thank my friend Martin, who did this illustration that we will show you at one point. I want to show all the people who are listening, even with 20 minutes delay. I want to thank all the people who are reading tonight. They want to share their voices. And yeah, so thank you so much for being here. We decided with Juliet to start every Saturday with a small reading of an Italian story. So she's going to share an Italian memory of her hometown, and we're going to go from there. And then we're going to have, I can't remember if it's 6 or 7 beautiful people reading texts and poems and thoughts that they've had. And I hope you'll enjoy it. Julia, do you want to take the lead?
The stage? Yes. Hello.
I think her mic is muted.
Oh, okay.
Julia?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
I don't know.
Okay. Hello? Okay. Amazing. So sorry. So thank you to everyone who, despite the delays, is still there listening to us. And thank you all, guys, beautiful strangers and beautiful friends that are taking part of this project. So I wrote this little piece, little story during these sunny days, actually, and I find the inspirations in my memories. This is a story of a regular Italian summer day for people like me from either the Turin, the town, or either the countryside. Turin is a metropolitan city, so during the summer the heat could be unbearable. That's why you go by the lake, by the river, and you try to immerse yourself in the nature as much as you can. At the moment in Italy, like in other countries, the lockdown is super strict. You cannot really enjoy the sun as you would do in these days. And on top of that, so many locals cannot afford to buy essentials anymore. The Council of Turin actually opened the Solidarity COVID-19 fund for all these people that are struggling so much, and we would like to give our contribute. So you will find the link of the fundraising page below the video once the live streaming will be done. Every donation would be hugely appreciated. Now, I want you to all to close your eyes for just a minute, and I will take you with me in my hometown. Like folds in the fabric, the water was echoing the reflected image. The wind, oh the wind, the peace, the lake. I gently touched my left leg. The blue of the sky could be on a Pantone palette. I'm sure it is already. Monotone, no variations. The perfect color. I am moving my hips as the music started to play. A fresh beer in a hand, the other one is trying to reach the perfect color. The pace of the music is not too fast, and I gently scratch my arm. I am making up lyrics. Music is not too slow. An elliptic instrument was echoing, the reflected sound from a side to another. More people are dancing. We are a small group of strangers, dancing sounds that are echoing each other, mirroring each other. My legs are itchy. I scratch my legs with one hand. Oh, so much better. Let's go dancing again, melting our feet on a dirty grass ground. The sun reflects on the instrument like a disco ball. When the sun goes down, it's cold by the lake. My legs are itchy, patterned with red points. Oh, damn mosquitoes. The summer by the lake could always surprise you, you know? Sometimes you wish to be alone and you start to dance. Sometimes you wish to be with someone and you start to write. And this was my story for you guys. Thank you so much.
Okay, so then we have Jade reading a piece of her funny writing. Jade, you're here?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. I'm gonna read you stuff after seeing like how the social media has been overflowed with the self-love and kindness, encouragement for all of us to see. So I wanted to write my own for you all. It's okay if all you did today was getting out of bed. It's okay if you finished the whole bag of chips plus the cookie box. It's okay if you spent the entire day on Netflix. It's okay if you stopped showering for a while. It's okay if you murdered your roommate. It's okay if you started to have sexual feelings for your cats and dogs. It's okay to read all day posts about oh, it's all okay. Just be kind. Just be fine. Just be blind. Everything is okay. That's it. They're both.
Okay, thank you, Jade. This was really, really funny. Then we have Sivan. Sivan, are you here?
Hi, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Great. Hi, my name is Sivan Levi. I am quarantined in Tel Aviv in my apartment. So I'm going to read you 2 poems that I wrote in the last couple of days. So this one is called Dogs, Children, and Feelings. A man juggling 4 blue balls and 1 orange, in salute to the day, standing in front of his home on his doorstep, decorating it with his ever-flicking wrists and flashes of blinking color. A scared dog pulls me left and right, and I float, scared by her fear. Just let her play, said the adopted dog guru, and I did. But every time she got scared, I dissociated, thinking of her ability to maybe kill another dog, and what if she isn't vaccinated, and so on and so on. I'd like to look fear in the eye and say, hey, devil, hey, you're not there at all. And I'd like to go through my eye and her eye and fear's eye and come out clean on the other side. To let her play and shake my head, kids, I'd say, shaking my head in compassion in harmony with the other dog owners in the dog park. It's your first time in the dog park. It's okay. It was hard like that with kids too at first, but now look at me. I'm a pro. Now you're a pro. Keep going. I love you. A golden star with pom-poms is handed to me to adorn my blue blouse. Thank you, God. No problem. And a big thumbs up remains tattooed in the sky. And the second poem is called An Untitled Dance. Why doth the spinning wheel spin? I kick a wheel off the table and it rolls across the floor, leaving a black mark. Rolling, rolling, rolling. I open the door and it rolls out onto a blanket, grasses like quilts. Cha-ching, cha-ching. I blink by the door, watching the wheel leaving, blinking. There are two options now because, well, I can't go outside. One is to blink and stare blankly into space. I know that option well. The second is to do what I did the other day. I was in virtual Gaga class, many dancers united alone in their living rooms. I zoomed in on this girl dancing in her hallway on the second floor of a large house mansion. I could really feel the interior and my spirit pouring into her living room in New York. The stranger who's just dancing, and without knowing it, suddenly I'm there with her, a dancing ghost relieving myself in the vast spaciousness of her home. Thanks, girl. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sivan. We have Saskia next. Saskia, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great.
So I started this really random and kind of crazy project for the quarantine. It's a diary, and I never usually keep diaries except for dream diaries. So it's very new to me, but it's a diary that's also a recipe book, and I do it every week. It's called The Challah Story, and it's about breaking a challah every day. I mean, every day? That would be crazy. Every week. And every week, I kind of just observe how the week has been, and I bake the bread, and it's a little ritual. So yeah, I started a little book, and I'm going to read some excerpts of the book diary recipe thing. So here's the introduction that I wrote for it. How does a week pass? We never stop asking. Until I was an adult and I shared Shabbat with friends, I thought it was everyone's ritual to ask each person at the table how their week had been. Shabbat is everyone's ritual, shaped and coloured by the idiosyncrasies of our cohort and circumstance. It is the seat of our bearings. There is space enough for it to shelter griefs and triumphs, conflict and jubilation, awe, peace, solemnity. What we bring to its shrine becomes the waymarker of our paths in time, the threads we drop through our past to create meaning and form. This book is for everyone. It is for thanks. It is for time. I am amazed by the cavern of ritual, that the more vast it gets, the more vast it gets. No book can hold this space. It can instead be a prayer to its sanctity. So that was the introduction, and each entry there is a recipe for what I baked, because I'm making a different challah every week, and then a diary thing. So for week 1, I am going to give you the little diary entry, and it's very short. Week 1, challah for spontaneity, freedom, and ease. When there is no challah and no time, don't make challah. And for week 2, I'm going to give you the ingredients to the bread. And if you guys want to know the recipe, you can message me, but this is what you will need to make it. For 1 large challah, it's 500 grams of plain flour, 11 grams of dry yeast or double with fresh yeast, 25 grams of soft brown sugar, a pinch of salt, 40 grams of vegetable oil, 180 mils of warm water, 1 whisked egg, and 80 mils of honey. A challah with cardamom, rose water, date, and pistachio filling, and it was kind of like threaded through the middle of each bit of the like braid. So yeah, that's, you can imagine eating that, and I will read this, and then I'm done. The challah is huge, and I say it is because the Jews always eat big. How can I explain that my challah has to be enough to feed all the channels of my love? If we drew elastic bands between the people I care about in the world, a satellite would think Earth was a rubber ball and wonder which cosmic stationery supplier had had a disaster. So that the challah can reach where love reaches, she is big. And of course, we are eating morsels on behalf of the loved people too, because we can't reach them. Today's consensus is that the challah has made everyone very happy and very full. But I am scared that this kind of bread cannot feed the world forever. It has learned how to rise in one special corner by the window. I cannot take the house with me when I leave, but I will take the recipe. There will be no home for this bread. It will be nomadic, like me, like all of us. It will exist. That's me. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Hey, thanks, Saskia. Thanks for the challah story. Next, we have Kia. Kia, are you with us?
Hi, yeah, I am.
Great.
I'm just hoping this works because I haven't managed to mute my notifications, so I'm hoping that they don't ping during all of this. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
I just want to say that everything I've listened to so far is really beautiful. I'm going to do first off a little poem that I wrote a couple of days ago. I was trying to write a poem every day for 30 days, but I think I've had a couple of days off, so we'll see if I get back to it. But this was one that I wrote a little while ago after having, so my synagogue has been having sort of like services over Skype, and we had a memorial service for a member of our synagogue who passed away. He was quite elderly, but he was a really like lovely member of our synagogue. And the rabbi said something which kind of stuck with me about like, at the moment we can't really hold actual hands with the grieving, but we can like hold space for them. So I wrote a little poem about that. And it goes, "It's easy to mistake the inside of your eyelids as the faces of friends, flashes of light as the days you might have spent. Outside with them, it's open eyes open is heavy breathing." So that's a little poem. And then I was just going to do a short section from a book that I've started writing, which is called Children's Stories for Children in Their 20s. And it's kind of about, you know, people not really figuring out where they belong at the moment. But yeah, so I thought it kind of made sense for now. So it goes, "Cassie has creases in her cheeks. They are wrinkled like fingers that have spent too long in the bath. Cassie has a leak. She has a tearaway tear duct that is responsible for the flood. Her clothes are soaked through. They stick to her skin like a wetsuit. Every suit Cassie wears is a wetsuit, and her feet flippers as she flops through the floods of tears that sometimes rise up so high they keep her trapped inside. She drags sleep sandbags out from under the bed to pile in the doorway, but those get soggy too and float down the street past the people and the post office and the parked cars, little boats with sandy sails. Cassie swam after them, but her eyes were waves and riptides that tossed her body up into the air, then dragged it deep below the water. She opened her mouth to speak, but it filled with water. She spat it out and pursed her lips, a drawstring smile tied in a tight knot. There's something quite comforting about not being able to speak, something quite comforting about having a reason for being so quiet. She smiled at the fish. They smiled back. They didn't ask her any questions. They knew Cassie isn't speaking so she doesn't drown. Her mum doesn't know. Her mum asks her lots of questions, like, "You're all right, aren't you? Everything's fine, isn't it?" "Yes, Mum, I'm fine." When she speaks to her mum, little bubbles form on her lips and burst on her tongue. The bubbles are cherry-flavoured, synthetic and sticky like chewing gum, that makes your jaw ache and face go numb. Cassie's mum is a sunbed mum with a sunbed smile and dry eyes. She sits in the sand, staring at the sun. She never notices the ocean or the waves that lick around her daughter's feet. She doesn't understand why Cassie keeps floating away. But yeah, that's me. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
Thank you so much, Kia. It was really, really great. Michal, are you with us?
Hello, I am here, and I want to thank everybody that shared before me. I feel the feelings that are spoken of, and I laugh, and my heart cries, and it's good. I am Michal, and I am going to continue reading from my quarantine diaries, starting with part 1 of Dreams and Messy Thoughts. I dreamt of being a director of a play in a theater house on opening night, and it began with disaster. The theater is packed, the play is started, the lead does not remember her lines. Nobody remembers their lines. I watched the tragedy unfold. One by one by one, my actors are going up without remembering their lines, needing their scripts, not having their scripts with them. In the front by the stage. More went wrong, but I remember taking it all well as a learning experience. And that I began dating one of the tech guys after. This was followed by a couple of classmates that were making a huge painting that involved a gigantic real fillet of salmon mounted to a canvas. Part 2. I don't feel like thinking today. I have exhausted my little brain, who is in desperate need of a deep tissue massage. I would like a large woman with strong hands to knead out all the knots in my head. When I worked, when I had school, when I had outings, I got to wear different hats. My inside head I don't know. On Facebook, I can brainwash myself into being someone else and wear their hat for a while. Part 3. Living vicariously through the social media of strangers under a white cloud sky and no vision to the ground below. Last night, my ex-partner and I discovered the key to our sex life and my pleasure: no penetration. We laughed. Yup, you're a lesbian. More laughter. But there is truth folded into that. Penetration in most cases leads me to crying. I'm trying to sort that out. And for a long time, I have been confident in thinking women are simply more beautiful and more amazing than men. It's not a hate thing. They just are. Part 4. I am tripling... Part 4. I am tripping and stumbling on my words today. Today, I feel claustrophobic. Today, in my chest, there is this uncomfortable feeling, like a secret shame over my past 5 days of inactivity. But if I can write one good thing a day, then I am making progress. But it's been more than a day or two since I've written something good. Maybe I should start keeping a chart. In retrospect, I've spent more than 3 of the last 5 days drinking, to various degrees ranging from festive to an unhealthy binge. In more retrospect, maybe today wasn't a total waste. I did make soup. Omar thinks I can do better than soup, but I don't want to tell him how much effort it took from me to do just that. It's just my brain is tired of feeding itself with motivation to get out of bed and take care of my body. In real life, I have just bit into what I thought was a potato in my homemade beef and vegetable soup, but it was just a very squishy piece of bone cartilage or something, and a cat just walked across my window and I waved to it because I feel so alone and so far away from humanity, and I feel a sad cry coming sometime soon. I miss holding hands. I want to give all my friends Eskimo kisses and to sit on them and bump heads and sit on the sand and get sunburnt together and share germs in a friendly way without fear of killing each other. Thank you for inviting me into this and for listening.
Thank you, Michal, for bringing me a very, very important smile after all the tech issues we had today. Can we have Norton? Are you with us?
I am. Hello.
Hey.
Hello. All right. I'm Norton. I'm being quarantined in North London. The streets are still very busy outside, so I'm just like, I have my window open. I'm just looking outside, and I'm seeing lots of people in the coffee shop across the road, and I'm questioning why everything is still open like normal. But yeah, anyway, I've got my poem here. It's called "If Not You, Then Who." I just a little bit of background information before I go into it. This poem that I'd written, I'd written this last year, but like back then, I was having issues with my mental health, and I was more reminiscent of my childhood, going through that whole situation, and I was very much isolating myself in that period way back then. So I thought this was kind of fitting for the situation to show my support for this channel. So here we go. If I show you me, and I want to know you, because nobody wants to expose my weaknesses like I do. You think showing emotion is weak? Well, I can tell you it's not. I'll roll over, show you my soft spot so you can take a shot. But you won't make a dent, nor a scratch, nor a dot. So just sit back, relax, and listen up while I tell you my poem's plot. Bullies don't have enough in their dictionary to diss me. Think of something else of your own originality. Because while I'm revising my vocabulary, you're at home taking a beating from your intoxicated mummy. And no wonder you have issues with me. I have the perfect place to hide, you see. Bury my head in a book while you're afraid to look up from being beaten down to the dust and being left in dust by the very people who taught you to trust. I see you sat in the corner. I can feel you when you get up. When you sit down, when you turn around, I can feel it. It's a fucking awful feeling, but I feel it. Why do you cause me pain on the same day your role model seems to refrain from attacking you? What's worse is that I can't stop feeling you. When I'm at home alone, I look in the mirror and I have your voice banging inside my head. Norton, you fat fucker, just fucking wish you were dead. Or do you? Don't you think it's me who's keeping you going, keeping you flying while you think you found my weaknesses? Do you know how weak this is? Do you know how many weeks this is going to go on for? Because right now, I'm thinking of thanking you for much more. And if not you, then who? And what for? Well, let me tell you this. I haven't tried to change myself. I've always been in the same old rhythm, getting dressed, eating breakfast, brushing my teeth, kissing my mother goodbye on the cheek. You'll never change that. But you can change what I look like and even how I think. But one day you'll know I won't even blink. Never again. You see the grazes, the scrapes, the stains of the blood you took from my veins. It was all in vain. The skid marks while a kid laughs at the remarks you make to me. They're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. Think about it, my G. You got a fucking shit life and I feel bad for you. Feeling bad is not what I want for you, but it's the way I am. I'm an easy target. I get the unwanted attention. But stay here in a permanent state of detention, and I cannot relieve this tension, but I can relive this. So let me just mention, your pretension is a misapprehension of the usual convention, and it's creating contention. So while I'm taking this breath for the prevention of my own hypertension, just know now, if you carry on, you'll be placed under suspension. At least now you can accuse me of condescension. Now, is that enough words for you, B? Or would you like an extension? Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you so much for sharing. And it was really great to hear. We're going to have Julia for the next little quarantine journal part. Julia, are you with us?
Hello. Can you hear me? Yes. Hello again. So here we go. I wrote this little piece on the 3rd of April. And yeah, during this quarantine in London, as you all know, I'm stuck in London, and so yeah, I started this quarantine journal as well. And thinking about this quarantine just makes me feel that sometimes the best thing to do is doing nothing. And here we go. Il vaso, the vase. The pale light reflected the cold colors of the vase, and I was imagining what it could contain. Lilac, blue, cut flowers, maybe, perhaps orange flowers, or big daisies, but it's too deep. Yeah, it's too deep, large. Its shape, oh, is not adapted for flowers. It's better for a plant, maybe? Maybe my mind. That vase would be perfect for my mind. My mind would be perfect for the vase? Like an empty bottle, but with a different shape. The more I observe it, the more I think, the more I imagine, projecting pictures on it, like at the cinema. The more I see it, the more I like it as it is. Empty, an empty vase. And this was my poem. Thank you so much.